So this week we actually had quite a few new VR announcements, and starting right off, we have Science Studios' latest release, Firmament, officially coming out May 18th, but only for PC and Mac OS. So of course you can still play the VR version on PC, but it will not be coming to PlayStation VR 2 just yet. Now, PSVR 2, however, did get a brand new announcement with the game Aces of Thunder, which is a realistic and competitive combat flight simulator. This is made by the same people who made War Thunder, which is a very popular flight simulation combat game. Now, Walkabout Mini Golf has just dropped a new course titled Upside Down, which is a really cool anti-gravity course that I've played a few times. It's really fun. I highly recommend it. It's only $4. Now, Population 1 is now officially free to play, and now that's a great game just across the board. It's one of VR's only popular Battle Royale games, so I highly recommend that, especially now that it's free. Pimax aims to attract VR developers with 100% revenue share and a $100,000 game fund. And now for context, both Valve and Meta each take 30% of a revenue cut. So this is kind of interesting. As a developer, you'd be able to really get all the money out of it. However, Pimax as a platform isn't, very mainstream or popular. Now this week we had two releases on the Quest platform, those being Guardians Frontline and Peaky Blinders: The King's Ransom. Guardians Frontline is a sci-fi VR shooter with a single-player campaign and co-op and PvP game modes. It's essentially, as the developers describe it, a love letter to StarCraft and Halo with both RTS and FPS elements, and this is a 4.8 on over 300 reviews on the Oculus Store. This sounds awesome, especially if you're a fan of those two amazing flat-screen game series. The other game, Peaky Blinders: The King's Ransom, is a VR story-based shooter based off the show with a 4.4 rating on over 40 reviews at the time of recording. Now, it's interesting to note that while there are really positive reviews, there are also quite a few mixed reviews that say it's only good if you're a huge fan of the show. So I would personally take a better look at that and really judge what you think about the game. Speaking of the Quest Store, developers are frustrated with the review system. Meta's app referral program turns Quest owners into advocates who can target those likely to buy a game for a mutual reward. People give 5-star reviews and turn these posts into discount ads on Meta's own storefront. They're trying to fix it and began blocking new reviews with specific types of URLs in them. Now, PlayStation VR 2 did get a new release this week with Before Your Eyes. And now this game actually came out, I think, last year, but this is the only VR version of it. And honestly, I've played it. It's really amazing. It's really fantastic. You just use your eyes, and every time you blink, you go forward into your life. It's a really awesome story-driven animation sort of interactive almost movie game. It's fantastic. It really adds a lot of variety to the PlayStation's library, and it's exclusive, really, the VR version is. Now, Quest Pass is apparently this new thing that was kind of leaked by this user who found it in the app, and it almost looks like a PlayStation Plus Xbox Live Gold-esque thing, where you get 2 new games per month that you can keep as long as you subscribe, and those can stack. Now, this could be great because, a lot of people don't have much money to buy and, splurge on VR games that are like $40, $30. So if it was not too expensive, Quest Pass, the service, if it was like $10 a month or $20 a month even, and you got 2 new games per month, now, you don't technically own them, but as long as you subscribe, you have access to all those games. So it could have a real benefit to it. Now, lastly, I want to talk about a canceled game from Valve. And this is really painful to hear. Now, the canceled game was entitled Borealis. And you'd essentially be exploring Aperture Science Research Ship as it traveled through time, showing events like the 7-Hour War. And it also would have tied Half-Life and Portal together. However, it was apparently too early to be building anything in VR to that scale. And when people are struggling with the basic tools they need to rough out a concept, it's hard to convey any sort of vision, and it all evaporated pretty quickly. Now, honestly, words cannot describe how cool this game would have been, especially now.